Hi all, welcome to Rant Sportz. This is just a quick message to warn you, this is not a family friendly sports show. So if you're watching on YouTube or you're listening as a podcast, please don't have it around children or people who may get offended by this. Basically, this show is about people bitching, moaning and debating about all sports around the world. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to Epic Shows. Also, give this video a thumbs up, a like. It gets it out to more people. Comment below when you're watching the show if there's something you agree or disagree with our opinions. Tell us what you think. And obviously, we're on all good podcast apps. So any app what you can subscribe to us. Also, any app that you can leave feedback on, like give us a review, do that. Especially on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. We are new and we're going to try and get up the table. Finally, share this with your friends and family, workmates who may enjoy this show. And if you ever like to come on to talk about a sport you may think we don't know much about and you might want to teach us about, please get in touch with us. As I always say, Rant Sportz. I'm on Twitter. That's how you get hold of us, at Rant Sportz. Anyway, after this quick break, back into the show with me, Simon, and Denny. Hi all, welcome back to Rant Sportz. As you can see with me, Simon is here and one of our new co-hosts, Denny from Florida. Welcome, Denny.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And Denny, the good thing on this show is if you want to swear, fucking swear away.
That's good. That's good.
Right, before we get into it properly, guys, I just want to say a big congratulations. Yeah, it's a nice beer. I don't even want to drink. A big congratulations to Leicester City and VAR for winning the FA Cup. But well done, Kasper Schmeichel was awesome in that second half. He's 2 amazing saves. Also, congratulations to Man City for winning their 5th Premier League trophy. Congratulations for Inter Milan. They stopped Juventus 9 years or in a row. Juventus, it's over. Well done, Conte. Never should have left Chelsea. Bayern Munich, we're all bored. They've won the league again. And I think that's pretty much all I want to congratulate right now because the season's still not entirely over. Now, people, before I get any further, I just want Denny to introduce himself properly and explain the love of sports that he loves and where he's from, so you'll get to know who he is.
All right, so I'm from Miami. I grew up here since I was 10 years old, and I played football my whole life. You think I call it soccer, but I don't call it soccer. I call it football. That's what I call it. I grew up playing football my whole life since I was like maybe 4. But obviously I moved here and I started to love basketball, not as much as football, but they're there. So I'm a huge basketball fan, huge NBA fan. But the love of my life is football. I breathe football. I talk about football all day. That's all I watch. I dream about it. I play my whole life.
You argue with me about it.
We
so
probably
Denny,
every single day. That's all we do. So
Denny, when you say you play football, what position do you play?
I play like a defensive midfielder.
Ooh, cancer.
Yeah.
There's not many people admit to being defensive midfielders anymore. Either strikers or, like me, I was a goalkeeper because I was crap outfield.
I started off as a winger, went defensive midfield, went right back, centre back. So the older and unfitter I got, the further I moved back.
But towards, I've been injured. I think you know about my back problems. So I stopped playing football about 6 years ago because of my back. But prior to that, like my last couple of years, me playing like kind of like 3rd division here in Miami, I was playing like left fullback. I'm actually like a righty, not a lefty, but they put me on the left because I can play with my left. I can kick with my left as much as I can with my right. So they use me on the left so I can go in through the middle and shoot. So
By the way, before we go any further, if you keep on seeing my head spinning, I did this on the Epic Florida project. Unfortunately, I've got football on the TV, Brighton versus West Ham. I need Brighton to hold out to get rid of West Ham for the top four. We need to get rid of them. So if my head spins, I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just seeing there's something going on in the football. So I'm arching my head, everyone. So on YouTube, that may bug you, but you won't notice it on the podcast anyway. Right, so we're going to get into the first topic, basketball. Now, I'm not going to lie. Simon, do you know anything about basketball?
Yes.
Much?
I know, but I used to actually play it in high school until I broke my left wrist, and I was advised never to play again.
Was you doing too much?
No. What it was actually a teacher. We had one of them the wet days, when it was absolutely bouncing down outside. Yeah, and what they did is they said you had to run forward and run backwards. And as I was running backwards, a tennis ball rolled up, and I stood on a tennis ball. I landed on my wrist, and my wrist went that way, my body went that way. So,
I've done that in football. Yeah. Someone came from behind me when I was in midair, took me out.
Sorry,
this elbow,
that was on my left wrist.
Was up like that.
Yeah.
But I got lucky.
I didn't actually break the flesh. I just broke the wrist. And
mine was floppy. But I was lucky because there was a doctor on the pitch.
I broke this bone playing football when I was 9 years old.
Yes,
the bone actually popped. I landed on it, and I heard the bone pop. I heard it like go, and I kept playing. Yeah. But the more I kept playing, like the pain just started getting like really painful. Then I looked at my hand, and it was like 3 times the size.
So does anybody agree with me that the general thing now, the younger population, would you say they would go off a pitch with a sprained ankle these days? They're not as made like we were back in the day. We would just play through any injury because the love of the game.
Just like, and back then we didn't want to tell our parents that we got hurt because they would get upset.
And you didn't want to admit to your mates either. You didn't want to admit to your mates on the pitch either that you were hurt. You wanted to be the tough man.
Yeah, I walked out of the pitch with my arm like looking like Popeyes, and I actually had to wear a cast for like 6 months because the bone was like that. I was sticking out.
And people, obviously, as I say, if you're listening, get on YouTube on Epic Shows, look for Rant Sportz, and you'll be able to see what we've been saying to each other because we're all on camera. All right, so basically, let's get into basketball. Denny, explain this sport to me. Everyone knows my opinion on it. I think it's a glorified netball.
You think it's a what?
Glorified netball, the female sport when they stand and pivot and throw the ball.
Oh, man. Basketball, it's just nonstop action. You have to. There's 2 sports that I love the most. Like I said, football and basketball. Basketball, I love it so much is because of the action. Like every second counts. Every single second counts. Like a half a second counts. It's unlike football, like American football, the NFL. I can't stand that sport because not every second counts. If a winning team is winning and they have like a minute left and that's it, like they can run off the clock and that's it. It's the game ends like a minute before it actually ended. In basketball, every second counts, and I love the action. I love the skills. Is kind of like football with your hands. That's why I don't know if you know who Steve Kerr is. Steve Kerr, he played with the Chicago Bulls back in the 90s with MJ, but now he coaches Golden State, and he won like 2 championships already. But he loves football. He loves football. And they asked him one time, like, why do you love football so much? Like, soccer. And he says he explained it himself. He goes, it's just like basketball, but with your feet. But, players, they have to be in sync with one another in order to create something.
Yeah, you have to be a few moves ahead as well, don't you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You have to be a few moves ahead. So if someone's got the ball, everyone else has to be making their runs to know where the ball's going to be going in the next few moves.
Exactly. So this is Steve Kerr talking, like perhaps now like one of the best coaches in the NBA. And he explained it himself, like, it's just like he goes, I actually watch football just to learn some of the plays that the coaches, managers, they come up with, or like how players, they move, they move with every play that they create in their mind, because those are the type of plays that I actually bring into my game with my team, like with the Golden State. And so I love the fact that basketball is like a game where there's no, there is set plays just like in football, but it's up to the players' creativity that dictates what's going to happen in the game. And once again, that's why I hate football. I mean, the NFL so much. It's because every play is designed for the player to go a certain way or a certain route, and they can't break that play because the coaches, they either bench them or they pull them out of the game or whatever because they broke the play. Whereas in basketball and football, it's soccer. It's just like
it's free flowing in it, so you've got to. It's always evolving.
Yeah, exactly.
All the time. And basketball, it's got the shot clock as well. So you can't waste time either. You can't just stand around because you've got to get rid of it. Is it 45 seconds or is it a minute? Well, the shot clock, is it?
The shot clock is 4 seconds.
Yeah. So you've got to get rid of if you don't get rid of the ball, it gets turned over, doesn't it? So you've got to keep it moving all the time.
You can't be under the net, like the little area, because they call you like a 5-second violation because you can't be standing there waiting for the ball. You can't. Yeah. You always have to be moving, like you said. You can't just stand still. You have to be moving. So
that's one thing. When I did play basketball, I was very fit when I did that because you're literally running for 60 minutes constantly.
Non-stop.
In our high school, we didn't have that many basketball players, so we couldn't switch players in and out like you do in the NFL. We only probably had about maybe 10 in the whole team, so we only be able to switch out a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's I love it, dude. I think when I play basketball, I think I ran more in basketball than I did in football. If you play in a big field like in a football team, if you're playing left back or right back, and your team is actually controlling the ball all the time, you don't do much running. You know what I mean? Is the offense is doing the most running, the midfield.
Yeah.
But in basketball, no, you have to be moving constantly. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So you got to be in really good shape.
Very end-to-end game. I love it.
I've got a question. Yeah. So obviously a lot of people who may be watching or listening could be in the UK. So as you watch the Premier League yourself, how we've handled COVID with our sport over here. How did the NBA last season handle COVID? Where did they play it? Who won it? And did it work? Did you enjoy it as much, or do you think, it's okay, but definitely needs fans back?
I mean, in the beginning, obviously, I think for everyone with the whole COVID thing and not having fans in the stands, it was really weird. Just watching any sports, just watching like football, like watching the Premier League and watching like the empty stadiums, like or La Liga. It was just like you have to get used to it. At this point, I think we're all used to it, and now that we're seeing like fans coming back to the stadium, it's kind of like okay, whatever, it's cool. But when the NBA, when that happened, when the whole when the pandemic started, they moved the teams to the Orlando. What do you call it? You should know. You go to Orlando.
ESPN and Disney World.
Yeah, ESPN World of Sports.
Wide World of Sports.
Yeah. So they moved like the MLS teams and the NBA teams to Orlando, and that's where they held the entire season. Like
quite clever.
Like Orlando, they have like so many hotels, so they had all the space to accommodate every single NBA team and every single MLS team in one area. So it was. I mean, I think the league, MLS and NBA did a great job, like trying to. I think trying to how would I say it? Trying to make their fans happy because they did what we had to do with what we had at the time. Nobody was expecting for that to happen, the pandemic. So I think the MLS, NBA, Premier League did a good job, like with moving forward. Once they were allowed to play once again, everybody did what they could do at the time. But it was a little weird watching the NBA with no fans because. And just like in the Premier League, the fans, they bring so much. I think they make the game just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the energy of the game so different. Like the FA Cup final today, just silly tackles. What been going on through the season? What 50-50s were like. All of a sudden, the fans were going mental all over it, and that's what you miss. You miss the real fans playing.
Yeah.
They're like another player to the team. They're behind their team, and they can make a big difference.
Imagine like you've been to the Premier League games, and the fans, they're just like all over the players. In an NBA arena, the fans are like on top of the players.
Yeah, it's very
like
close.
little. So I wish you would, whenever you come to Florida, if you were ever come to Miami and there's an NBA game going on, like Miami Heat or whatever, the Orlando Magic, go to one of the games and you're gonna see it's just different. The atmosphere is different.
When does an NBA season usually get played from start to finish?
Man, it's about to finish now, and what we're in what, May?
May, yep.
I think it's from September till June.
Oh, that's interesting. Because obviously, Simon does as well. We both usually come out to Orlando in May, so obviously there's an option of going and seeing the Orlando Magic as well. Then,
I think every time you come here, like in September, I think you asked me a while back, and you actually came right before the NBA season started. I think you asked me that like 2 years ago.
Oh,
they were having preseason games. I can't remember though.
No, I'll probably hit the preseason though, my luck. But so who won it the pandemic one last time, the 2020 season?
The Lakers against the greatest team in the NBA,
your team,
Miami Heat,
who's not doing too well this season.
You know what's funny, that I kept telling my brother-in-law, I said to them, look, Miami's going to make it to the finals. This is like 5-6 months before the pandemic, right? And he said to me, the Heat? I'm like, yeah, like we have a really good team, like really good players, and they play together as a team. And obviously there's other teams in the NBA in the Eastern Conference, they have way better players than we do. But they have one or two good players that can take over the game and win games. But I said to them, what if they get hurt? Miami plays together as the entire team. Like they play together as a whole team, not just one player. And he started laughing at me. So in the end, when we made it to the finals, guess who was laughing? You see that?
Yeah.
That one team got hurt. Their key players, and look at the Miami Heat. We kept going. We beat everyone all the way to the finals, but the Lakers beat us.
So what's going on this season so far? I've noticed, I did hear I've got a young lad at work who loves playing basketball. I mean, he's about the same height as me, 5'10", and he can, I've never seen someone so, oh my God, Brighton just took the lead against West Ham. He can literally jump so high, it's ridiculous for such a short guy. But if I'm right, he said to me one of the Miami Heat's young superstars has been out injured most of the season. It's affected him quite bad.
What is it?
One of the young players for Miami Heat is really good. Apparently got injured towards the end of last season, and that's what's affected this season for them. Oh,
Jimmy Butler?
I think that's what he maybe said.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler. Well, he's like our biggest star. Yeah, man. He's he did get hurt. He's been hurt, but he came back like a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
So, we made it. We just made it to the playoffs again. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
You made the playoffs. Quite shocked, really, because I've been looking at you and Orlando Magic's results, and I kept seeing you lot lose.
Man, they haven't been to the playoffs, and like I have to check, but I mean they've never been a match to Miami Heat. Oh, the only time they were like a really good team was when Shaq was with them.
Yes,
this is before they went to the Lakers.
I'm actually shocked he's never thought about trying to buy him.
Huh?
I'm surprised he's never tried to buy him.
No, I know, right? They need help, man. They need help. I don't know what happened to their owners, or they just don't give a fuck about the team anymore.
Sounds
I don't think
just about right in Orlando. All sports franchises are run like that in Orlando. So who do you think's going to win the NBA this season?
Man, I think the Lakers might pull it off again if LeBron is healthy.
Is he back yet?
I think no, he's not back.
Right.
But if he's healthy, like in the playoffs, he's unstoppable, man. He's just like, he's a beast. And he's like 37, 38. He's still a beast, man.
Right.
He's too strong, huh?
I've got a question for you. Are the match officials still match fixing the referees now? Because if I remember right, back in the day, there was this big arrest of loads of match officials for fixing games with bookies and that. Does that still go on?
In the NBA?
Yes. Now, I heard this on Shaq's podcast, so I know it's true. Apparently.
Yeah. I mean, there's some plays that everybody knows that they fucked up, and sometimes it makes you think if this fucking refs are like getting paid to make calls.
I think the same in VAR in football, mate. I see some decisions in football, and I sometimes think, has VAR made football more of an easier game to fix now?
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Like the NBA, like they have like so many replays, instant replays, and this, that. I mean, they check every little thing, and sometimes these refs, they still make the wrong call, and even the commentators during the game, they're asking themselves like, how the fuck do they make that call when everyone knows that that's
I think it's the same in every sport, isn't it, though? We all scratch our heads at these officials, but we forget if we tried it, we'd probably miss every fucking call out there. So it can't be easy for them.
I mean, the one thing I keep asking myself is the Premier League being the league that it is, perhaps like you say, you call it the best league in the world or whatnot.
No, guess what? Right now, it's the best in the world right now, but it's kind of boring as well because one team's always run away with it every season. If it's Liverpool, Man City, that makes it boring. But what I mean is, in other positions, like right now, the top four, that everyone can beat everyone.
What I was going to say is that it's such a great league, but with such shitty ass fucking refs.
Oh god, yes, especially in the FA Cup games.
I mean, MLS are bad, but I've seen some games in Premier League that you're just like, what the fuck? Like, not even with VAR, like, I don't know, man.
So, got a question. Give me your top 5 all-time basketball players. 5 being the worst, 1 being your best.
1 being the best, MJ. Nobody can beat him. Michael, he's the GOAT. I mean, I grew up watching basketball, and there's nobody like him. 1, MJ. 2, Kobe. 3, LeBron. 4, I think, the Dream, Hakeem.
Oh, yeah.
5 would be Shaq.
Yeah, I get why Shaq gets in there because for such a big man, everyone forgets with Shaq because they see him now. He's quite famous around the world as this big giant, but he's quite fat. But everyone forgets how slim he was back in the day. Man. Yeah, he was a machine.
He was just like, I mean, he was like a bull, like running straight to you, and you would just move out of the way because this guy was gonna like fucking kill you somehow. He's really one of the best players, man.
He's also a bloody genius. Look how rich he is. He's nearly a billionaire. So the man's an absolute genius.
He invests in a lot of business.
Yeah, he's very clever at investing, isn't he? He knows how to use his brand really well.
Yeah, he's smart. He's pretty smart.
So obviously, you said Kobe. Now, 2020, being a massive fan, how did that hit you when that happened?
Yeah, I think I don't know how many times I shed tears over that shit, man. Like seriously, it was really tough to. It was really tough to even watch the news for like weeks after his death, and seeing his face and the face of his daughter on TV. And I think it hit me even more because I'm a father and I have a daughter who's only 10. Yeah. And just knowing that he went down with his daughter, that was just...
Yeah, I can imagine the thoughts going through his head at that point. He's thinking, I can't save you. Because every father's job is to look after their kids and be their protector. So that last second was devastating. I mean, as I say, everyone knows I'm not a big basketball fan, but that was... start of COVID, and when that happened, everyone was like, "Wow, the world stopped for that." In sports-wise, we were all in shock. And being a Chelsea fan,
even to this day, I don't like watch or read anything about Kobe. I can't. Like it's really hard.
I say the closest thing we had as Chelsea fans was back in 1997 or 98, when our co-owner Matthew Harding, I should say Matt Hardy as a wrestler. He millionaire. He was throwing money. He was the person who started the money in Chelsea before Roman Abramovich. And coming back from a League Cup game against Simon's area at Bolton, we were all up in the morning. I'm watching, I think it's called GMTV back then. And we all heard a helicopter crash. No one really took any notice. Bit of news, helicopter crashing doesn't usually happen in England. Then the story within an hour come out. Owner of Chelsea came out. It was Matthew Harding, through and through Chelsea fan, would drink with the fans in the pubs outside the stadium before and after games. So that totally shocked us. And obviously the same happened to Leicester as well, didn't it, with their owner?
I was just going to mention that.
So in a way, as I was upset that Chelsea lost him today, but for that club and that man and his family, what happened, for them, I'm happy that they've won the FA Cup. They kept the dream going. But yeah, Kobe's thing was just, it was mind-boggling. I mean, if anybody who didn't know who Kobe was before then sure did after.
Yeah, you know what's crazy that when I was a kid, when I was like in the 80s, my idol was Diego Maradona. Like I used to tell myself there. I mean, whenever he stopped playing, like I don't know how, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be with my life. I don't know what's gonna happen when this man stops playing. Right. And now he just passed away. And to me, he's the greatest player ever. Like above Messi, above anybody. Like that's just the way I see it. Just because I watched what he did when I was like a little kid, and when he died, I don't think it affected me as much as Kobe's death. I think because I knew Diego was going to die soon, eventually, because of his health.
Yeah, and the way he was living his life.
It's kind of like something that we were all waiting that knew was going to happen. It was really sad. Yeah,
it's just a shame he sorted himself out towards the end of his life, but it was too late. I mean, his heavy drugs, his heavy lifestyle, drinking and that, it didn't help Maradona. Yeah. Why, as you say, Kobe, he was trying to help his daughter become a professional basketball player herself.
I mean, Kobe was there. He's like, I think he was like the perfect sports person for.
Sorry, West Ham just drew 1-1 with Brighton.
Like this is like the perfect ambassador for the game, and I mean, whatever he did with his personal life, him cheating with his wife or whatever, that's his deal. That's his personal life, But what he did for the game, hang
on, before you go any further. People from the UK. Now, we don't want to tarnish the guy too much, but quickly explain what he did to his wife. Did he just like beat her or something? I don't mean that in a throwaway way. I'm trying to figure out what it was.
He cheated on his wife.
Right, he cheated. So,
just like Tiger Woods, but Tiger Woods is like he has like a little freaking like I think he has a sexual obsession or some shit. I don't know what his deal is. Because this fucker didn't just cheat with one woman. He just kept going at it like constantly with multiple women, and they all look kind of like the same. So I think he has an obsession with blonde women. That's what it is.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, I think we've pretty much gone through basketball. Yet again, brilliant for explaining it to us. Maybe I should give it a go. The problem, yet again, as I say about all American sports, is the time of your games. It's bloody hard to stay up at 2 a.m. for a sport I don't understand. But maybe if I slowly start taking notice, I don't know who to support because I don't want
the Heat. Support Miami Heat. That's all you have to do.
But the problem is, I'm an Orlando City fan, so I feel like even though the basketball team, should I be supporting them?
No. Look, Orlando is just Orlando, but Miami is Miami. Miami, I've told you this so many times. Orlando is always going to be in the shadow of Miami, always, no matter what.
Fair enough.
Support Miami Heat.
I'll try and give it a go. When next season starts, people, I will try and get into basketball and fully understand. And obviously, Denny's going to be on here a lot more, so through the season, he'll be able to explain stuff to me I don't understand, what could be quite funny because I'm fucking useless. So that was really good. So let's move on to the next thing now. Simon. You, as you know, if no one knows, Simon is planning to become a pro at darts himself. If you want to check it out, check out Simon Says Darts on YouTube. You can watch a lot of his games on there right now. There's quite a few up. He's not biased. He does put games up. He does lose as well. What's pretty good because a lot of people wouldn't do that. Now, Simon, I know a bit about darts yet again. Explain what's going on in the world of darts, and also explain about the Legend League as well, because that's the one I'll probably understand better.
Yeah. What's happening is obviously with COVID-19 at the moment, everything's being played behind closed doors. A lot of PDC tournaments used to be spread over a couple of weekends over the year, and what they've done now, they're doing like what they're calling it the Super Series. So they've done a spring series, they're doing a summer series, an autumn series, where all the players come together, 128, all turn up at the moment at Milton Keynes, or Bolton, depending on what area you can support them, and they're playing 4 tournaments over the 4 days, and winner wins 10 grand.
Ooh.
And runner-up gets, I think it's 2 grand. And then it just goes down like that. Because
did you say the runner gets 2 grand?
I think I'm going to start practicing playing darts.
Did you say to me the runner-up gets 2 grand?
Yes.
How's that fair? 10 grand,
well,
2 grand.
Because what it does is there's a lot of money spread out, because as soon as you win your first round, you go into the second round, you win £500, which is not a lot of money, but that £500 is ranking points. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So if you win a tournament, rather than you just getting prize money, the prize money is so much higher because it gets you higher up the rankings. That's why it's gone from 2,000 to 10,000.
Okay,
It just gives them a bit more incentive to win it, rather than just say, "Oh, well, I'm running up again. I've got £5,000. I'll take that." Well, you've got to push to try and get the final. It's good, but it's also, if you win the first round, you've automatically straight into ranking money. You win £500 for the day or something like that.
Not a bad day's work.
Well, you get, obviously 64 people get nothing every day. So, but to get into the PDC, it used to be really difficult with the Q school, because
how much have you won?
Me, competitions wise, I probably only won about £500 at the most over the years. I've not won that much because I'm nowhere near the PDC level yet. It's going to take me a long time, because it's going to take maybe 3 to 4 hours a day of practicing, and probably 2 years.
How do you practice though? Like, you just keep throwing, or?
I have certain practice games I try to keep my mind active, because just throwing darts at a dartboard gets tedious and boring.
Yeah.
So there's practice games I use. It's actually a company in Sweden called Go Darts Pro. The guy actually sent me a T-shirt and a few stickers. Nice guy, thank you. He's got a lot of different games you can play on there, which he said he's just throwing at 20s all the time. You throw at 19s, 18s, and it tells you different things to do. And it just gets your arm going around the dartboard. It's a great little tool. But
in all fairness, I do jest you about darts, but I've got to say it's a game for people who've got good minds, because it's maths, and yet again, I'm shit at maths, so I'd be there for hours going, "Oh, what next? What next?"
Well, I literally just before this podcast, I did have a game tonight, which has not been recorded because it's just a normal little online league. And my first leg, I started off 60, 180, 180, and missed 81 for a 12 dart finish. I thought, great, this is a great start, and then it just slowly dwindled down. But
I think I play better when I'm drunk.
It's true. Then it's true.
It's my mind, so I don't think about it so much.
It's
like playing pool the same way. When I shoot pool, I think I play better after like a beer or two.
It's the pressure. When the pressure builds,
I guess that's what it is.
You think like you're stood there with your hand like that, ready to throw a dart, and if you just make one slight mistake with your hand, it goes all over the show. So yeah. That's how I throw my dart. So
show it off.
Anyway.
You know what's funny? That he just did this. He went like this, and I was thinking, wait, when I throw it, I go like this, and then since he's a pro, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna try the way he did. Just did.
Well, the easiest way. I can't stand up. But the easiest way to do it is try and get the arm in line with your eyes. But keep your elbow at 90 degrees.
Okay,
and just let your arm do the work rather than your shoulder, because a lot of people throw like that and it's pushing it. Let your arm do the work.
Just look, I go.
Yeah, you're using your shoulder.
And I'm like,
you need to watch the YouTube channel for this. We're all doing a bit of jigging with shoulders.
yeah, that's me.
Put some music in.
I have to go like this. Yeah. Now I know I have to go like this.
Yeah. But if anyone needs any other tips with darts, just contact me directly and I can tell you.
Have you ever thought of doing that on your page?
I am going to do eventually. Yeah, I'm going to give some
tips for people who want to learn how to play darts. That'd be quite useful as well. So
let's get back to the darts. Let's get back to the PDC again.
PDC, what's going on with it?
Well, at the moment, there's fans in the next stage of the Premier League, which is 10 players. Well, now 8 players because 2 have been eliminated. Which, unfortunately, the world number 1 is not there because he failed a COVID test at the beginning of it. So he got booted out. So the world number 1 and world champion is not playing in the best league of darts at the moment because of COVID-19. It's a bit sucked, really, but it's one of those things. But when it comes to the Legends League, I've now found out a bit more information. It's now 2022. It's not this year. They're building it up, and you are getting the legends coming back. You've got Phil Taylor, Dennis Priestley, likes of Andy Fordham, Colin Lloyd. The classics from the 70s, 80s, and 90s are all coming back and playing professional darts with just them. And it's going to be the same kind of format as what the PDC is. Okay. The PDC Pro Tour is now. But not as many players, obviously, because the elder ones are not. I don't think they can play 6 games in one day. Probably keel over nowadays. But
how long is each game?
Well, at the moment, in the Pro Tour, it's the first 5 rounds are 4 rounds are first to 6 or best of 11. Okay. Then it goes to best of 13, and then the finals are best of 15. But that's just the Pro Tour. You go on to
15 or 15.
15, yeah.
Okay.
15, yeah. So first to 8. But that's on the Pro Tour. But when you get onto the senior, the
Legends,
the televised tournaments, that's when things start to change and the prize money goes up. But that's what you're playing the Pro Tour for, to get to that standard into them main events. It's a bit like any kind of competition. You can't just enter at the top. You've got to work your way up. I've got a couple of good friends. Dave Evans has just won his tour card last year. Now he's slowly going up the rankings in the Pro Tour to get onto the TV tournaments. Because the thing is, this is where a little bit of a rant's going to come in from me. Some of the best dart players are not in the top 16 at the moment because they haven't got the ranking points and they haven't got the money behind them. You've got Gabriel Clemens. A lot of people, he's only just been coming up in the last couple of years. I don't know what ranking. Let's see if I can find his order of merit while I'm on here. But Clemens he's not been doing fantastic. He's been doing fantastic darts wise, but when it comes to actually playing on the circuit and getting his ranking points, he's currently only 26th. But he's a good player. And the other player who's doing really well at the moment is Jose de Souza. But if that wasn't, he's now 11th in the world. But beginning of this year, he was 37th. Sorry?
Is he Portuguese or Brazilian?
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
He is a fantastic dart player, but a terrible counter.
Right, like me.
He makes so many mistakes. He goes for wrong doubles. He'll leave himself 40, thinking he's left himself 40, but he's left himself 36.
Oh dear.
And he'll go for 40, and he'll actually hit 40, and the marker will say no score, and you're like, well, what have I done? You said you're counting wrong, Jose. You need to. But he does it regular. He does it quite a lot.
He flunked math like many times.
Yeah, he does. He has flunked math, but it's hard to explain with the ranking system. If it goes on a 2-year system where your ranking, your money you earn lasts for 2 years. So the likes of, at the moment, Glenn Durrant was the BDO world number 1. He's coming to the PDC. He was doing fantastic the first 2 years. now is defending a lot of money from 2 years ago, but he's not playing well. So now he's dropping down the rankings. Same as Raymond Van Barneveld. I don't know if do you know who Raymond Van Barneveld is?
How big is darts in USA? Danny? How big is darts? How big is darts in the USA?
Oh, I don't follow it. I don't watch. I've seen it a couple of times on ESPN, but like I don't know much about it at all.
Well, there's a couple of Americans in the PDC. A new guy just come in, Danny Baggish. He's from Chicago.
Okay.
He won enough. He actually qualified on the US World Qualifier and got to the PDC. Got to the third or fourth. I think he got to the fourth round, which gave him enough ranking points enough money to come back over at Q School. He went to Q School and won his card.
Oh, fantastic.
So, like I said, at the moment, it's showing that there's 150 people in the PDC because of all the ranking points from people losing over 2 years.
I know they show a lot of pool, like a lot of pool tournaments.
Yeah.
ESPN shows a lot of that.
Yeah. The thing is,
I think it's really good at it.
The PDC, what makes the PDC a little bit different now than what it used to be a long time ago, there actually is men against women as well now. Ooh. It's one of the first sports where men are on equal terms as the women. Because Lisa Ashton, local lady, Lancashire Rose, from Bolton, Lancashire Rose, telling you that.
Manchester, Bolton,
she's called the Lancashire
Manchester, It's on the map.
Well, she's currently 78th in the world in the PDC rankings because she's won a tour card and she's playing against the men all the time. So,
I suppose with it not being horrible to darts, but it's got to be easier being a non-contact sport that women can play at the same level as men.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being rude. Then he goes on about his international USA women's team. But let's tell the truth. You put them up against most men's team, it's going to be double-digit scores by half time.
You think so?
Yes.
You think that? You think like let's say you take like a team from the Premier League that's.
Yep, I'll say Brighton. Let's say Brighton. Brighton They would beat the women's team.
The U.S. women national team. Do you think that those guys are going to beat those girls?
Yes.
I've seen those girls play in person, and I've played my whole life.
There is playing against other women. There is playing against other women who are a lower standard than these professional athlete men.
The thing is, like, this is look. Here's the thing: those girls, they play great as a team, right? Those guys from the Premier League, from the middle of the table all the way down, they don't play good as a team.
But it's nothing against women's football because women's football is still new.
And a team is a team. It's like 11 against 11.
They will not beat men's footballers. The sheer fact is they will be out-muscled, outpaced.
Like what is the worst team right now in the Premier League?
Who's bottom?
Which one?
Who's bottom of the league?
Sheffield
United. Sheffield United would beat them. I'll tell you what, you get on Twitter yourself and get Sheffield United men to play USA women's team. I will go to the match.
Those girls will beat them. No. Alex Morgan would score all over those assholes.
Oh, I think only because the men are looking.
That would definitely put a lot of the men off.
Hey, you know what? Imagine if that happens. Imagine if they do allow Sheffield play against the U.S.
Who's that woman who's always going on about women's rights? The one with the really short hair is nowhere nearly as good as half the USA players.
What was that?
The one, I think she's lesbian. The one what's got really short hair. She's always going about women's rights and money.
Rapinoe?
I don't know, but she's one of the people. She's one of the people who's always constantly going on about as I said, is going on about women's rights and how women's footballers should be on the same amount as men footballers. What may be fair in USA, but in Europe is the biggest pile of bullshit I've heard.
Let me explain that to you. It's different. It's different over there in Europe, right? Because the let's say the the English national team brings a whole lot of money, even though they don't win any tournaments at all, but they bring a whole lot of money whenever they play, right? Whenever they go to the World Cup, they bring a whole lot of money. Whereas here in the United States, it's the opposite. It's the women national team that wins championships, that brings more money than the men's national team, because they actually win World Cups and they actually make it from like the beginning of the World Cup to the end. That means like they bring a whole lot of money to the U.S. Federation, even more money than the men's national team brings. And that's why these women are saying, why is it that if we bring so much money to you guys, why are we getting paid so low when the men's national team can't even beat fucking Nicaragua? when last World Cup, they didn't even make it to the World Cup. And we won the World Cup. And you're fucking telling me that you're going to pay me $160,000 and you're paying these guys like $3 million, whatever.
But worldwide, I hate to say this, wouldn't someone like a Christian Pulisic probably make more than them women? As in franchising back to America, because worldwide he is known for a sport. He's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Alex Morgan sells more jerseys than him here in the US.
Is Alex Morgan the... I'm trying to think which one she is. Is she the good... I'm going to say it's bad now. Is she the good-looking one?
For the Sportz now, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think she's left them already because they got a spanking from Chelsea's women. Talking about Chelsea's women, people, if you're watching this, good luck to Chelsea's women Sunday the 16th of May against Denny's Spanish team at Barcelona in the Champions League final.
Let's see who's going to win that one.
It's going to be a good game. Women's football in the UK is growing very big. But Barcelona is Barcelona, and you know there'll be some technically gifted players playing for Barcelona straight away.
You know, it sucks that they won't televise that game here. Though.
Oh, it's here. I believe in England it's on BT Sports. So people can watch that if they choose to. I might put it on. I mean, Chelsea women have just won the league again like they always do because it's too easy for them, even though Man City spend loads of money on their women's team as well. But we're going to segue out of women's football anyway. Get to the final thing. MLS. Now, people, this is quite funny. Denny used to hate Orlando when they were the only team in Florida for no reason. He hated them. He didn't like their Barney dinosaur uniform, I'm guessing. But he's become a Inter Miami fan. Well, to me, he's been a great giggle because he thought because of Sir Beckham, whatever he wants to call himself, and Dopey Neville in charge, and because where the stadium is, they thought they'd attract all the good players. But so far from Europe, they've attracted Fatboy Higuain, and they're very bad as a team.
Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah, I think you know what. Remember, I used to write for the newspapers, and
why did you stop?
I used to write articles for. I was thinking about writing another one for them, and I wanted to criticize Neville, and I wanted to criticize David Beckham for bringing him here. I don't know if I mentioned this to you about 2 months ago when he named him like the head coach. I don't know who I was talking to. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I said that's not a good idea to bring an English coach to Miami because Miami is full of Latin Americans. No, listen to this. Miami is full of Latin Americans, and we don't like Latin Americans don't like the way English teams play. We don't like the long balls. We don't like the fast passing. Like we don't like that. We play the Latin way. That is the Brazilian way, the Argentinian way, and we knew that by bringing him here to be the manager, it was going to create some problems because we have a lot of players that are Hispanic and they don't like that style of play. They don't like that style of play, and as you can see, we suck right now. We fucking suck,
just a bit.
And it's not just because of the players; it's because of his fucking coaching, man. I went to the game last weekend. And I can see some of the players being frustrated and some of the players being played out of their position because he wants them to play fast. He wants them to play long passes. It's not going to work here.
But I didn't get it myself in the first place because in England, he's not even counted as a good manager. He did the England's women's football team, and that's all he's really known for. So to us, it was a weird choice.
That's what I was going to say. He failed in England and he's moved to America.
He comes from Manchester United, and who was his coach there for how many years? Sir Alex, right? And that's the way he was taught how to play the game, and he wants to bring the same ideals to Miami. It ain't gonna work. It's not going to work, man.
I think you would be better off.
We lose 3 more games, and he's gonna be sacked. You'll see.
Yeah, I think you're better off getting a manager from Spanish football, personally.
No, we wanted to get an Argentinian manager. We had one. He was Uruguayan, the one from last season. He was a good coach, but it was our first year, and we knew everything was going to be difficult. And then the pandemic started, and things weren't normal for anybody. And he did what he did. He did what he could. He even brought us to the playoffs our first year.
Yeah,
but it's just. It wasn't David Beckham. He fucked up by bringing this guy to the team.
I would say bringing a friend in to being a manager is a big mistake, personally, because they've got a personal bond.
He looks frustrated now. David, he knows. He's like, okay, things are not working out the way I thought they were going to be. And
see, I look at it like Patrick Vieira used to be a manager for New York City, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he knows the MLS, and he's not managing, as far as I know, football. And I think to myself, he understands attractive football because of Arsene Wenger.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he been a good choice, even though he's Arsenal and Arsenal Man United hate each other back then?
The thing is, like, even though he play in the Premier League, he's French.
Yeah.
And French, they have a different mentality than English players. So they play. French people, they have their style of play is you can call it, they play like a Brazilian kind of football in a way. You know what I mean? It's different from like the English style of football. So
English football is getting changed slowly because of Pep.
Henry he did okay last year here.
I would say English football is slowly changing though because of Pep Guardiola. He's changed the mentality of a lot of football teams in England how to play football now.
You know what I told you 5 years ago when he went to 4 years ago when he went to City? He said, "Oh, he's gonna suck," and then the first couple of games he was losing, and he said, "Oh, I told you he's just a fucking joke. Like he can't handle the fucking Premier League." Blah 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 blah. 4 years later, how many championships?
Mate, plain and simple. If he doesn't win the Champions League, as a Chelsea fan, I personally think they will win. I think they will win the Champions League, Man City against Chelsea at the end of the month. But if he does lose that game, to me, with Man City, he's a failure because he was brought in to win the Champions League.
He can be a failure when he comes to a team.
When you spend over £1 billion. And you're brought in because they've already won Premier League trophies before then.
So if he beats Chelsea in 2 weeks or whatever, if he beats Chelsea, you have to admit live on a YouTube video, you have to admit that he's the greatest manager ever.
No, because Alex Ferguson to me is the greatest manager ever. Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager ever.
No,
Kevin Keegan.
He's not. Well, what's your team?
Mine, Newcastle.
Okay, you think Alex Ferguson is the best manager ever? I mean, considering the fact that he was always given the top players in the world all the time. Every time he had a team. Yes. He always had the best players in the world playing for him, always.
Just like Pep.
I wouldn't. I can't really say who the best manager ever was.
Pep put together teams.
If you want to say the best manager in football right now,
look at what Pep did with Barcelona. He put it together himself.
Yeah, but he didn't. He got lucky. He got lucky and got Messi, and he had Ronaldinho already. He already had Ronaldinho.
No. Listen to this. Messi was 17. He let go of the best player in the planet, Ronaldinho. He let him go. He's like, "Fuck it, leave. We don't want you here." When he's the greatest player in the planet. He let go of Eto'o.
Yeah, but Fergie did that as well with Beckham. Fergie did that with Beckham and Ronaldo. Ferguson did that.
He went to Chelsea. He let go of, like, perhaps
but Ferguson's done that.
Of the team.
Ferguson was known for that as well. He got rid of loads of world-class stars.
And then he brought in, like, players that he thought would fit his idea of, like, playing.
Until I see him go to a Tottenham Hotspurs and win the league,
He would probably do it. He would probably do it.
I don't think he would. I don't think without the money. Don't get me wrong. This is what I need to explain to people. This is what bugs me. Pep is a world-class manager, and when people say to me, "Look, what Jose Mourinho and that back in the day,"
go to Newcastle and win the league.
No, let me explain what I'm going to say here. Right, Pep is a world-class manager. Now, with an average squad, he'd get them probably in the top 5, 6. Right, every season.
Okay,
but let me finish. Let me finish. Right, let me finish. I'm going to explain my reason here. But with money, he is the greatest manager in the world. Now, the reason for this is, anyone says, I always say for a joke, oh, I could go and manage Man City with that money. But you can't, because it ain't just about the big names you're signing. It's about the tactic. It's a tactical side of it. It's player management. You have to get them all in the right head. And with egos.
Name me like world star players that he has playing for City. That from like 5 years ago, before they are what they are now. Because he pretty much made them what they are now.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think what made Man City what they are now is Sheikh, whatever his name is, Mansour. I think Sheikh Mansour made Man City what they were. As we said, 9 years ago, I believe it was, or something like that, 19, 15 years, I can't get it right. They were in Div 2 in English football, and if it's Sheikh Mansour, he came in and he threw a shitload of money. Well, I've got nothing against any club who's got a billionaire owner who wants to throw money. To me, I think it should be allowed.
You have to think about this, like, just because you spend a whole lot of money on players every time, like during the offseason, it doesn't mean like you're bringing in the best players. It just means
Chelsea
that.
Proven that
listen to this. It just means that because of today's standards, like when it comes to like the prices of like players, any stupid player can be overrated and overvalued. Any best player now, it's worth more than 50 million, 25 million, 34 million. Shitty-ass players that 15 years ago, they'll be worth like 2 million.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
Most expensive defender in the world. He's terrible.
Kepa for Chelsea.
Just because you spend a whole lot of money on a player, it doesn't mean like, oh, you're bringing in the best players.
But that's what I'm trying to explain.
That's what the market value is.
That's what I'm trying to explain. This is what I'm trying to say to people. Now, there's managers out there who can spend money and bring the best players in. But I'm telling you now, a Sean Dice...
That was Liverpool. Liverpool did that.
Yeah. A Sean Dice could not go to a Man City and make Man City as good. Because he is better with no money.
They've been doing it and they can't win for shit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's certain types of managers in this world who are good with money and these big ego players because they know how to work them. But I'm saying a Sean Dice, even a Frank Lampard, it's been proven. You can have all the money you want, but if you're not tactically now, or you're not good with tactics and you want how to talk to them players, it doesn't work. Look at Tuchel, right? He's gone wrong in the FA Cup and it's had a bit of a little dip in the Premier League. But he came in Chelsea and within a week flipped Chelsea around to a team who's now in the Champions League final. Frank Lampard wouldn't have done that.
He's just having a little bit of luck, that's all. Like I don't think he's a good coach. I don't think he's not even in the top 10 managers in the world. Like he's not. I
wouldn't say that. He's tactically he's a very clever man.
He's not. He came into the team that was already a team, and he hasn't made any changes to the team. That's Frank Lampard's team.
Yeah, it's Frank's team, but it wasn't working for Frank.
They just happened to click at one point in the middle of the season or towards the end, but that's his team.
Well, we're going to find out. I think we're going to find out how good he is now because he's just lost to Arsenal. He's just lost the FA Cup final.
Next season, judge him by 2021, 2022 season.
That's fair
if he lets go, let's see what type of changes he makes for Chelsea and who he lets go and who he brings into the team, and let's see how better the team plays next season.
That is fair. I'll tell you what. Before the next season starts, we'll get pre-season out of the way, and then who's ever on the show at that time will all predict the Premier League table and see who gets the closest through the season, who predicts it, because we'll see what clubs bring in who and all that sort of stuff, and we'll see how it goes next season. Guys, I want to leave it there before I go. Denny, I know you haven't done much on there lately, but would you like to tell people about your YouTube channel?
Man, you know what? I have my YouTube channel. What's my YouTube channel? I forgot.
Denny Tech 305.
Yeah, Tech 305, yeah.
Tech 305.
I help people. I show people if they have any problems with their computers, their phones, whatever they have, whatever issues they have. Like, you might want to check it out, and I might have the solution for it.
Okay, Simon, do you want to quickly plug your stuff?
Yeah, well, we've got the Simon Says podcast, which is Simon Says Darts now, not podcast. It's Simon Says Darts on YouTube, and part of this channel.
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. The Epic Florida Project, which an episode just dropped this morning. Well, this afternoon, sorry.
It's the people that be yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we basically talk all news, what's going on.
What time is it over there now? What time is it over there?
Right now, it's nearly 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
What time is it here?
About 5:30 for you. We're always 5 hours ahead.
Yeah.
And me, quickly check out my own one, Epic Phill, where I do reviews on roller coasters or hotels in Orlando. The hotel one is just pretty much to help people out instead of going looking in 16 different places.
If Chelsea win, if Chelsea beats City
In the final.
it'll be because of America. Keep that in mind.
Captain America policy. And guys, obviously with this show, follow us on Twitter at Rant Sportz. That's a Z and not an S because some arsehole stole it before I could. So we are now called Rant Sportz. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, as I always say, give this video a like, share it to your friends and everybody else on social media, and comment down below if you've disagreed with anything we've said or agreed with any of us at the time. Also, we're on podcast apps and obviously on an Apple podcast. Give us a 5-star review and give us some love out there, and yet again, share it again. And pretty much that's it, guys. Check out Epic Shows and join up and subscribe to it. Simon said before, I don't think it's going to happen now, though. If we get 1,000 subscribers, me and him are going to go on the Slingshot in Orlando live, so everyone can watch us be shit scared.
Shit ourselves, in other words, yeah.
Pretty much. So, everyone, Denny, thank you, and hope to have you back on again soon. And
see you guys soon.
Yeah, and to everyone who's watched or listened, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Tatty bye.
Peace.